Okay, we're on YouTube, I think. Now let me see if I can find that. So now it says I'm on live. Oh, I tell you. I don't know if y'all have as much problems as I do, but it won't let me style the video. Has the high winds got anything to do with this? Because I'm going to tell you, the wind over here is ridiculous. Friday, March 14th. Okay. Now I'm going to share it. I don't know if that works or not. Something's going crazy, I tell you. Carolyn's in. I guess it's just me and you. Like I was saying earlier, I've been here all this time, but I had 2 or 3 calls to return that video I posted yesterday of the Cullen Davis mansion before it was torn down. That thing was done in 2021, July of 2021. Somebody asked me, hey Carolyn, somebody asked me if they could use it. I had 3 people, 3 different podcasts wanting to use that video. Of course, they got to get my approval. Good morning. So I was talking, there's a big podcast crime group. I'm not going to say their names, but he's one of the biggest in the country, and he wants to use that video. They're working up they're reenacting or rehashing the Davis murders in '76. And he said, I've never seen that video. And I said, I don't think there's another one like it anywhere. Anyway, he just said, can I use it? And I said, send me the stuff on email and I'll send it back that you're approved to use it. But apparently that video got pretty good coverage. If you look back on it, on the earliest comments, those are from 3 years ago. And the reason I didn't post it a bunch then was because every time you say even the word Cullen, everybody goes nuts. So I didn't ever really show it much more. This says July 28th of 2021. But there's another one that's got a lot of comments on it. I don't know if I can even find it. But it's had a lot of views. And so now it'll go national as soon as they send me the stuff. But y'all saw where Kyle and I went down. That's in the kitchen area. So, was I to understand correctly that that was where the little girl was found? That was the basement. Let me see if I can find it here on. Anyway, I'll look for that video in a little bit. And I wanted to see how many views have been on it. But that was a video after it had been, all the other businesses in it had been closed. And then our group has bought it. 43 comments, 3,100 post reach, and then tore it down and sold it. But that showed basically the house. So Nanette said there was only one person led down the stairs in the basement, and that was little Angela. The man in black tied her up. Y'all saw the difficulty. Of course, I'm overweight, but it would have been hard to get down in that little area. She was found in the basement. Yeah, so if you look at me trying to get down there, I got down there. That led to an area that was down below in the basement, and where they parked cars. You see that parquet floor? I've got a big chunk of that here in the museum somewhere. When we tore it down, Kyle and them brought me that, because that is definitely a Fort Worth memory, one that we don't want to remember. But I'm watching that video right now, and at some point, I'm about halfway through it, I guess. Kyle's explaining all of the, let me see. That's in the dark, we can't. What was the last thing that was in here?
An event.
Oh yeah, an event center.
And these are the 2 bedrooms.
And then this was a bathroom, I guess. Yep.
That's all they were done.
Ooh. Yeah, because those are commercial bathrooms. Wow, how cool. So in a minute, we're going to go down into the basement.
Yes, we go. That was a guess.
Okay, we're going upstairs. I need my workout today anyway. So now y'all can say that y'all have been in the Cullen Davis mansion. Man, this thing is solid. Wow. Can you imagine living in this? This, I guess, was a... Anyway. I don't know what it was. I'll get back to the live, but that basement is... To access that area, I was just going to explain to y'all, was in the kitchen area. And you had to pull part of the floor. It was kind of best I can remember, it slid. I don't know how, that wasn't, whoever designed that wasn't very good. I mean, that wasn't very accessible. Hold on. I'm having all kinds of technical issues. Having all kinds of technical issues. Well, we went into the area that was the basement. Yeah, I wasn't one that, well, any other murder, none of them are wanting to be remembered, but it was part of Fort Worth history, a big part. I mean, it dominated the news worldwide for a long time. There was what, 2 trials for, how many trials were there? I'm trying to remember. Was there only 1 trial for the murder of Andrea, and then 1 trial for the attempted murder or whatever of Judge Edson? Does anybody remember that? By the way, we're eating at Jason's Deli out on Northwest Loop 820. Nobody remembers how many. Was there 2 trials for the? Wasn't 1 trial a mistrial? It's got me wondering now. How many trials were for Cullen Davis? I know he was the richest man to ever go on trial for murder at that time. Doesn't say how many trials. A shocking pair of Fort Worth murders and no conviction. That was in hold on, I'm reading here. Of course, everybody's pretty much. Dee Davis was Priscilla's oldest daughter. She was a member of our group and came into the museum. Came by here and visited with me over on 5th Street and downtown. She's dead. Of course, Stanford and Andre are dead. Priscilla's dead. Bubba Gabrielle just passed away in the last few years. The only person left standing is Cullen. So I can't find, does anybody, Brittany, can you see how many actual trials there were? I can't remember if there was one for the judge that they just found him not guilty. And then I thought they had one, they didn't have one here because of the notoriety, so they moved it to Amarillo. And was that a hung jury or was that an acquittal? All right, you researchers, let's research that. Anyway, the wind is terrible. It's supposed to be. The wind has never been this bad. I mean, the last 15 years is when the wind changed in Fort Worth. I know because we detail outside. And when I was on West 5th, so it hadn't even been 15 years. When I was on West 5th, not at 2713, but at 2732, I remember we had a couple of cars out in front. Rosie and Sylvia and one other lady were working on them, and I saw all of this, the air blowing. Hold on. Hello. Well, AT&T, maybe that was what was the deal. Now I can't get the. I never should have tried to answer it. Anyway, the wind started swirling a bunch, and I ran outside. I was in one of the bays, and I thought it was the wind, but it wasn't. It was a helicopter. The reason that helicopter was there is they were looking for that TCU football player, or wasn't TCU, wasn't he Texas A&M? What was that guy's name, the quarterback that beat up the girls, and then he tried to play in the NFL, and what was that guy's name? Does anybody remember? And they were looking for him. They had an arrest warrant, and he'd gone to one of his ex-girlfriend's house up on campus or by TCU, and then they heard he was down there on West 7th drinking. One of the bartenders called in. Y'all remember that guy's name? Y'all are not very cooperative this morning. What was his name? His daddy was an ex-police Mansfield cop, I think. But anyway, so the next day, whatever year that was, very next day, I pulled the car out to get the girls started on it, and the wind was blowing like crazy. And I looked up, and there wasn't no helicopter. That was just the wind. That was when the wind really started, when I had moved to 2732 West 5th from 2713. The first spot I was at on West 5th was where the Blue Mesa is. Then I moved across the street about a half a block down, or about a block down, and I was there for a number of years. So anyway, that's when I noticed that the wind was really kicking up. So we're eating at Jason's Deli. Hold on. The Cleveland group is writing. Oh yeah, I knew Cullen. All right, Bill and the older brother. I detailed their cars when I was downtown at 1015 West 7th. They'd drop them off, and then somebody would pick them up. I was only a block out of downtown. Well, I think that part of the movie was right. They bought Bill out. I think their buyout agreement was if two brothers voted to buy the other one out, they did. So that's how that went. But they say that Cullen screwed off a bunch of money on when he, building that house and flying all overseas to decorate it. I think that house was $6 or $7 million back in it was completed in 76, I believe. That's when the murders were, so it was before 76. Guess I'll go back and see. Stonegate Mansion. Doesn't say how much it cost or when it was built. I'm gonna put facts. It's searching. $1972, spent $6 million. Five bedroom, 11 bath, indoor pool. The master bedroom was 2,000 square foot. That's bigger than the house I live in. Tunnels and balconies at 4100 Stonegate Boulevard. Decorated with more than 100 oil paintings. They've got a, WFAA has a video. Let me see if their video shows the inside. Because our video shows the inside. I don't have the sound on, I'm just looking to see. Stonegate Mansion, the final look inside the infamous and iconic home. WFAA original. That Kyle's doing this video too. There he is. So Kyle did that video also. I thought I remembered that. Okay, where are we eating? Jason's Deli. Well, that wind's blowing pretty dang hard. Northwest Sleep Day 20, Saturday at 1. We've eaten there several times. They got good food. They got a salad bar, they got soup, they got a lot of stuff. Yeah. I don't know how many square foot that house was. God, it had to be. Master bedroom was 2,000 square foot. 20,000 square foot maybe? I don't know. Big house. Their dad's, the Davis farm, here's the deal. Their father was the largest oil field, was it equipment or? They sold oil field equipment, I think. One of the largest in the world. At one time, they owned 50 major companies. They owned Ken Davis Industries, they owned Strataflex. A lot of the people that are in our group work for them. Mid-Continent Supply. Yeah, okay, so you're talking about a live show I did one time about their dad. A lot of the oil men had kept their mistresses at an apartment building was, you know, where you go in, if you're going down Forest Park and you turn into those two stone pillars, there's a large apartment building there. And a lot of people, or a lot of oil men, they say, kept their secret relationships there. Well, there was a lady that had worked, her husband had worked, I think, for Old Man Davis. And she supposedly jumped out of the 9th story window or something. Hold on. Ken Davis' girlfriend jumped out of a window in Fort Worth. That's probably not how to do it. But not Kenneth Davis' girlfriend, murder, suicide. I don't know how else to put it. Well, I can't find it. But his father, that had happened, those apartments off Forest Park. I know it's in here. Hold on. I can't find it though. I'll find it and I'll tell you all on my next live. So, cause when Cullen had his deal, there's some people saying like father, like son. Yeah, but I'll do that story today. Okay, I got a headlight job just pulled up. Let me do these sponsors right quick. Yellow Snake Horses, Brazos River Ranch. Take the kids or grandkids on a horseback ride, 2 hours, $75. Dub Peacocks, A-Bird, AC, and Heating. Dub and his wife also made a very generous donation to the bicycle giveaway. Eric Walsh is on the board of directors at Larry's Kids. He's in the real estate business. Burt Ladner Real Estate, Wes Williams is associated with that group, and he is also on the board of directors at Larry's Kids. Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel, that's Pat and Richard Carr, very active in the community. There's Richard Carr's nephew, Dickie Carr. He does everything to do with trees, he does it. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering, been in business since 1946. His dad and Otha Coburn. Need a Dent guy. Fort Worth Lumber, they're very active in our bicycle giveaway and been sponsors forever. They're on 35 South. Come on. Cross Electric, Brandon Cross is our electrical sponsor. K-Ranch Roofing, Jorge Hernandez. This is his second year being our sponsor. They do anything to do with your roofs. They can take care of you. If you need, if you don't know if you got roof damage, call that number and get Bree. She's the office manager. She will schedule an appointment and have one of their expert technicians come out and take a look. Jenny Stewart, State Farm Insurance. If you're not using State Farm, call Jenny's office and get them to give you a quote. You can probably save some money. Passport Getaways, if you want to take a trip or a cruise or whatever, call Passport Getaways and they'll get you set up. Raines Plumbing, that's a family-owned business. All plumbing needs, and we've had a lot of great reviews on people that have used them. Charlie Guerin's Railhead Barbecue. Charlie is also a board of director member on Larry's Kids, sponsor on our group. He's our state representative. His brother is Pete Guerin, and he runs the Sid Richardson Foundation, and they gave a $5,000 donation for the bicycle giveaway. Medicare or Medicaid, if you got issues with that, call Casey Crawl. His team, they'll meet you at your place, his place, or in between. They're experts. Don't try to navigate through Medicare or Medicaid without them. Rex's Bar and Grill, Rex Benson. That's the old macaroni grill on South University Drive, in the same parking lot with Rex's other business, which is Old South Pancake House. Rex's Bar and Grill is probably the premier sports bar in the state. There's Old South. They're at 1501 South University Drive. 24/7 on that location. The one in Burleson closes at 9 or 10 at night. But it's been there since... Old South has been in the Benson family since 1962. Stroud Auto Supply. Danny Stroud and his wife. I used to buy parts there when I was 16, so that's how far I go back with Stroud Auto Supply. That was when his dad had it. They're in the Riverside, Haltom City area. Schwartz and Hanson are our architectural sponsors, and they also are very active in our bicycle giveaway. Phelps Family Auto Care. That is Mike Phelps and his family and all their technicians. They're in the Burleson area, and they got a great reputation. Go see them. Always, when you're doing business with any of our sponsors, tell them Larry O'Neill sent you. G2 Garage. That is Chris and his group over there. They're ready, willing, and able to take care of anything that you got on automotive. They're in the White Settlement area. Alpha Design and Build, Lance Sanders. I'm popular this morning. Lance Sanders, they do commercial, residential. They remodel. They'll add a second story to your house or your building. They do everything. Fort Worth Florist, that's Jeanette and her team. They're way out on Camp Bowie, but you don't have to get in the car and drive out there. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call 817-244-2345. Do it all over the telephone. Weddings, funerals, I love you, flowers, whatever. Scott Sumner, he is our IT guru. Scott can build you a website. You can do consultation with him. I don't know how he keeps it all going, but he does. Scott and Jenny are great people. Winstead Paint and Body, that's Clay Winstead. I've been doing business with the Winsteads 40 years. When my truck got rear-ended by that, UPS driver in her personal car just before Christmas several years ago, Clay and them did all the work and they fixed it up perfect. The wind's blowing hard and our little friends are outside, so take heed. Bring us inside, keep us warm. Okay, I gotta go out here. Somebody's blowing their horn and I gotta go try to make $1. I will see y'all here in a little bit.